Warning.
Good
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the City of Gulf Shores Council Work Session Meeting. It's February 16th. Thank you for being here. Mostly familiar faces. Tonight's the night we will go over the agenda that we'll be voting on next Monday. It's your opportunity to ask any questions or make any comments. So if you got anything to say, just raise your hand. We'll recognize you. Come to the microphone. Tell us who you are and what you have on your mind. So again, thank you for being here. First item on the agenda this evening is councilman discussion period. Mr. Jones.
I have nothing for this evening. Let's move along, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item up, we have Clint with a couple of capital development projects to introduce.
Yes, a couple of related items here. As you may remember, the city received a TAP grant from AlDOT a few months back for the West Beach Boulevard pedestrian improvements project. And so we have the design contracts on here for you tonight. So this project will enhance pedestrian access and safety along West Beach Boulevard by creating a 10-foot wide multi-use path detached from the travel lane. And this will extend from the West Lagoon Avenue intersection to West 11th Street. And then we're going to have an alternate to install a sidewalk along West 11th Street, also from West Beach Boulevard to West Lagoon Avenue. And Civil Southeast was selected from the pre-approved AlDOT list of qualified engineering firms, and staff recommends accepting their proposal in an amount not to exceed $80,100. And so this is that project map. And so, as you know, the sidewalks stop just west of West Lagoon Avenue. So this will pick that up, and it will be a 10-foot multi-use path on the north side of the road, going down to West 11th Street. And the total estimated cost of the project is just over $1 million, and the TAP grant covers 80% of the construction, design, and CE&I costs up to $800,000. And we have the design budgeted for this year for the project, and we expect the design to be completed this year. And after we get all the AlDOT approvals and everything, it'll probably be early 2027 before we can start construction. And be glad to answer any questions on that if you have them. Or I'll
Explain what a TAP grant is, if you could briefly for the audience.
Yes, it's the Transportation Alternatives Program, and it's something that AlDOT does. And so it's for things like this, for sidewalks, trails, basically things to get cars off the road and give people other ways to get where they're going.
Thank you, Clint.
How often are these TAP grants available? Is it yearly?
Yes, they do it every year.
Okay. I would like to suggest that for the next TAP grant that we apply for a multi-use trail on the north side of Windmill Ridge Road. We did an overlay on Windmill Ridge Road previously to help with some of the drainage and some of the problems down there. But with that and the East 4th Street Bridge development into a walking, pedestrian-friendly access, I think a TAP grant to connect 59 to West 4th Street Bridge and protect pedestrians and bikers on Windmill Ridge Road is very important. So I would recommend us trying to go for that for next time.
Yeah,
We don't have other funding options.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one for us to go for.
Clint, any anticipated utility impacts along this pathway, and if so, is that included in the design proposal?
They will look at that. We don't anticipate any. Basically, where this is going, it's pretty flat as it is, so we shouldn't be having to dig down and affect anything underground too much. We will have, of course, some light poles and some things that we may have to maneuver around, but we don't have money included for relocation, but we don't think we're going to have any for this one.
Will this be similar to the lagoon path or more like the sidewalks on 59?
We're thinking this is going to be more like the sidewalks on 59. Concrete, and probably try to keep it straighter and not, the way the one on West Lagoon is asphalt and kind of weaves around. So the thought was this would be a concrete one because there are so many driveways that it's going to cross and make the construction a little bit easier versus trying to pave between driveways.
And this includes the expansion of the culvert as it goes over the ditch there, where the bridge is.
Well, this doesn't go to there. So where this one's going,
No, I mean, you were talking about, that was
No, that's for next year's.
The next year.
Oh, yeah.
That will include that.
Yes. So some of the stuff that has to go on that Windmill Ridge one, we would have to pay for out of pocket because the TAP grant really covers the construction of the sidewalk or the trail, and it won't pay for those drainage improvements. But yeah, that would be something that, some of that stuff we would have to pay for. But yeah, the construction of the bridge there, the pedestrian bridge next to the bridge, yes, that would be eligible.
But that's a good point you make, and that's why that project has been on hold, because unfortunately that road has a lot of drainage issues, and there's a lot more to the construction rather than just building a path. It's a lot more complex project and a lot more expensive for us to do that on Windmill Ridge Road, but we're working on trying to figure out a solution to do that.
Yes, that's why we went for the Go Mesa grant for that last year, but unfortunately we didn't get it. But Go Mesa would have covered all those other things that TAP won't cover. So it would mean there would be more out of pocket for us going the TAP grant route.
One more question. This is detached from the travel lane, so I assume there'll be a landscape strip between the travel lane and the sidewalk?
Yes, but with this being West Beach, it would probably just be sand in some places where that's what's existing. In the places where there's sod, then we have sod. We don't have really landscaping set up. That'd probably be something that will come in after the fact. As far as
Important to
trees,
look at our opportunities there is what the wind does with the sand and the constant need to clean off the pathways and trail paths anyway. Just wanted to understand what was separating the two.
yes, and that's something that we're gonna have to look at during design of what we can plant down there that'll live.
Council, any other questions, comments? Anybody in the audience with any questions or ideas? Okay, Clint, you got another one?
Yes, and related to that, so we have a supplemental services agreement in conjunction with that design contract that we just spoke about. There are certain things that are not eligible for reimbursement, so it has to be a separate contract. And so including the topo survey and the environmental checklist services. And so since that's not eligible for reimbursement, they can't be included in that contract. And so staff recommends accepting the proposal from Civil Southeast in an amount not to exceed $11,150 to cover those additional services.
Thank you, Clint. Any questions, council? Anybody in the audience with any comments or questions? Thank you, Clint. Toby?
Yes, sir.
You got a
Here we go.
presentation for us, a license
sir.
application? When I call on you, you can take it from there.
I was waiting for my slide.
Okay. Safari and Vine LLC, doing business as Safari and Vine Restaurant, located at 20499 Oak Road East in Gulf Shores, has applied for a special retail more than 30 days ABC license. It's the former location of Savannah, right next to Gulf Coast Zoo. The applicants are here. I see them in the audience, Rich and Pam Lee. If you guys have any questions, I'm sure they would be happy to answer. It is set for a public hearing at our Monday, February 23rd council meeting to be voted on, and I recommend approval.
Thank you, Toby. Council, questions, comments? If you've eaten at Portobello's in Foley, you enjoyed it, I know, and you're going to be even more happier to know they're the ones that are going to be occupying this Safari restaurant. So I, for one, am excited about that and
Me too.
welcome, and we'll look forward to approving that next week. And thank you for being here.
It will keep some of my household money in Gulf Shores instead of, y'all do a great job. Thank you.
Any questions, comments from anybody? Thank you. Jenny, engineering.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I have before you an action item to accept the roadway right-of-way improvements for the Village at Craft Farms phases 1 and 2. While Terrence pulls up my slide, which he doesn't have. So we'll make sure to have that next week. I don't know what happened. So this is Village at Craft Farms phases 1 and 2. It includes Gales Road, Cartgate Drive, Montague Drive, Dorset Lane, Swilken Lane, and Balgo Drive. So those roads Phase 1 was constructed in 2020. Phase 2 was constructed in 2023. They've both met the 2-year waiting period as well as the 50% occupancy period. Engineering did recently re-inspect those roads. They meet our standards, and so we are recommending accepting those into our network.
That's glad to hear that they meet the standards, because that hadn't been the case typically, so
Absolutely.
lately anyway. So, council, any questions or comments? Anybody in the audience, anything? Jenny, thank you. Teresa, taxi franchise request?
This is a taxi franchise request for Julie's Beachside Services. Julie's Beachside Services is currently located in Foley. Julie would like to operate a taxi service in the city of Gulf Shores. She will be driving a 2024 Subaru Outback. She is currently licensed in the city, and we do have a current certificate of insurance on file naming the city of Gulf Shores as an additional insured. Her vehicle has been inspected, and she is working on obtaining her operator's permit with the police department. And I would recommend Julie's Beachside Service taxi franchise. Any
Thank you,
questions?
Teresa. Council, any questions, comments? Anybody? Thank you, Teresa. Scott is not going to be presenting tonight. This is the one that we are. I asked Toby to tell you, you weren't coming because I was going to handle it, and then I forgot I was handling it, so just in open, being honest. We've decided that we're not ready to consider this at this point in time, so we're going to delay it till the next cycle and do a little bit more homework to make sure we've got everything like we're supposed to have it. So, thank you, Scott. So we'll talk with y'all about that later. So the next item that we will work on is Noel with the Public Works Department. They have a change order for us.
Yes, sir. So what we have before you is change order number 3. And so this is for courtyard spaces. Will feature hardscape fixtures and furnishings, to provide the additional seating and table areas. Also, an exceptional education playground will be expanded. That's for our special education playground. Practice pavilion receive upgrades for the playing surface to enhance training conditions. We have long-term preventative maintenance for our storm shelter and include an improved access for HVAC system maintenance. So we recommend accepting these changes in the amount not to exceed $751,289, which would increase the total value amount of the project for $139,670,710.35. And so also this incorporates an 18-day extension to the contract from, it was supposed to end February 27th, so we're moving it to March 17th, 2026, so the additional 18 days. So we have a cost summary, and so I'm going to try to make my best to make this confusing. So there's 3 items. We just talked about doing the 18 days of extension. That's COP 121. And a COP is a change order proposal. That's how we track them. And so what we're doing now is formalizing it. And then we have COP 47, which was the practice field upgrades, where we enhanced the practice field in the amount of $106,432, and we actually have already been reimbursed by Gulf Shores City Schools that check. So they've already submitted a check for this. So this is the closeout for the contract. Then we have the outdoor furniture. If you remember, last month I brought you with the changes of the, not changes, but the furniture and fixtures and equipment. So we had $200,000 left in that contract. And so we're proposing to, for the outdoor furniture and $111,122, and that was going to be for the outdoor furniture. So they need to put that in their plans. So that still gives us a remaining $80,000 in that line item left. So that takes us to $217,000 out of that $751. So right now we are tracking 6 change orders that regards to error and emissions, which is a total of $424,410. And that's a minus, electricals that weren't there. There were some asphalt discrepancies. There were roller window shades that they were manual, but they needed to be electrical. So that was an upgrade to that because they couldn't reach them to be able to pull the shades down. There's exposed ductwork, insulated. So in a drop ceiling, or there's not a drop ceiling, it's exposed up to the attic where it needed to be insulated, but the plans call for non-insulated. And so that was a change in the contract. So we're tracking that for an error. We had some more network cabling where it wasn't called out, and that was in COP 93. And then we had some AV equipment changes, and that was for a speaker, which was over-designed and it wouldn't work with the space. And that was a COP 97, in an amount of about $76,000. So we're tracking $424,410 on those 6 items towards the architect. Then we have a remaining 11, which is the kind of initiated by the owner and state building inspections, fire marshals. So right now we're getting to an area where they're doing all the final inspections. And so more things are just arising. So those 11, I can go through them, but it's just, they're a total of 109,000 of those 11. So they're $6,000 to $8,000 hits on those. But that's a total of $751,289. And I do have some kind of examples through here. On the top, I'm sorry, these kind of blend together. So COP 84 was the art room ceiling. That was the mechanical doors wouldn't raised up because the ceilings were in the way, so we had to make that change. Fire pump room, that was some relocations in the fire pump room after the inspection of our fire marshal and state inspection. Another example is, you can see on the top picture of a stairway where you have there was an open space down the wall that needed to change. We needed to enclose that, so that was a change in what I'm proposing, and that's the exposed ductwork. That's after they have done all the insulation in the mechanical room areas, so they have addressed that as well. So that was just a few examples of pictures on those. But if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
The issues that the fire marshal found were deficient. Is that our expense, or should have that been the contractor's?
We're looking, we're watching it, but that was just kind of on their discretion and the state inspectors, so they were going back and forth with them. So on E&O, but the E&O is kind of stacking up as well. But we're going to go through every line item with them.
Any other questions, council? Comments? Anybody? Anything? No? Grant's got a couple of public assembly permit applications to present.
Good afternoon. Yes, sir. We have 2 for your consideration next week. The first is a request by Spring Hill College to host once again the Badger Beach Bash. This is a beach volleyball tournament scheduled to take place on February 27th and 28th from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. This event actually brings schools from 4 different states and has an anticipated attendance of 225 athletes. Spring Hill College will bring Berry College, Huntington, LaGrange, Wesleyan, and Erskine colleges. Last year, this event produced almost 200 room nights in our community with about $131,000 in estimated economic impact. Those numbers are tracked through our sports commission through the Gulf Shores Orange Beach Tourism Organization. This is a map of their proposed location. This would be just south of the town green over at West Gulf Place. They would put six additional volleyball courts out on the sand. They would like to have a couple of food trucks involved. And this application has been approved by all of our departments, and it's ready for your consideration with a request for approval next Monday. Glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Grant. Council, questions, comments? Anybody, audience?
This is a free event?
It's a free event open to the public.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Good deal.
Are there additional courts set down? I know we have courts down there that are just for public play.
Right.
Are they still in place?
They are, and they'll still be in place.
Okay, and so in your map, you show that. Is there are others back to the west of that typically live there?
Correct. The map doesn't quite go as
But
far
those are the
back.
new
Yeah.
ones. Those are the
These
ones
are
for this
additional
event.
courts. Yes, sir. Coach Bryant with the USA Volleyball will provide the courts and the net sets up. We'll provide a couple of pop-up tents and some tables and chairs for them to use for their athletes.
Any other questions, anybody? Got another one?
Do. So the annual Ballyhoo Festival of Fine Arts and Culture is scheduled to take place March 7th and 8th, 9 to 5. This takes place at the Gulf State Park Lake Shelby Picnic Grounds. They typically have around 10,000 people over the 2 days. In 2025, this event produced about 126 room nights, about $83,000 in economic impact. Here's a map of Lake Shelby picnic area. You see all the yellow numbers off to the slide right. Those are the art vendors. There's a kids area. There are food vendors. The Ballyhoo Festival is put on in conjunction with the Gulf Coast Arts Alliance, and it's been a long-standing event. The main purpose for bringing this to you, it doesn't impact any specific city property. It's all contained within Gulf State Park, but they will use this event application to get a special event business license to be able to pay their taxes from their vendors. Be glad to answer any questions. This also has been approved by all of our staff, ready for your consideration with a recommendation to approve.
Thank you, Grant. Council, any questions? Audience, anybody? We got something going on tomorrow in your department also, don't we?
Well, it's not just our department, and I guess I should really big thank you to all of the city that has worked so tirelessly, right up to and including our procurement officer Shelby, who is handling our insurance requirements of all the attendees. We have a Mardi Gras parade tomorrow, 10 a.m. It'll roll from right here near City Hall down to Beach Highway. We have confirmed now 45 total entries in the event this year, which is exciting. Mayor and council are part of the event as the Grand Marshal float will roll as the city's float. And then police department, fire department, public works department, really it's all hands on deck, special events to produce an event such as this. So we're excited. We invite the community to participate and come out and enjoy the revelry. Caps off the end of Mardi Gras. Then we go into Lent and spring break after this. So see everybody at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Grant. Dr. Aiken, we're going to go to a special meeting in just a second, but I'll invite you up to give us a school update first.
Not a lot to report. Students are out out today through Wednesday. Teachers will be back Wednesday, but I am excited we've got a lot of student organizations that are excited about participating in the parade, and spring sports have kicked off. So basketball, and boys and girls basketball both qualified for sub-regionals. Unfortunately, their season's over, but soccer, baseball, softball, track, it's all going on right now. So busy time of the year.
Good for you. Congratulations. That ends the agenda. We do have a special regular council meeting to follow this, so we can vote on one item of urgency. So we will come back to any questions or comments from the public. But at this point in time, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So move.
Second.
A motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Additional recommendation to go into regular council meeting at this time.
Move to convene regular council meetion.
Second. Have a motion, a second to go into regular council meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The one item that we have is resolution 7086. This is authorizing an agreement with the Davenport Company for financing of some special needs. John, you will go through that real quick?
Sure. Thank you. And I apologize that I did not have this information available before today. There was one change in the letter, but this authorizes the mayor to sign an agreement with Davenport Public Finance. They have been our financial advisor for the last roughly year and a half. And they will be helping the city or assisting the city in securing additional funds for the high school. As you remember, when we went out to bid for the high school, there were a couple of areas, especially the theater that we added to the contract. And so we are looking to add additional funds or go out for additional funds. And Davenport is, this agreement would authorize them to both approach banks directly with an RFP for a direct bank loan, as well as authorize them to conduct a public sale of bonds for $17 million for the high school. And the timeline that they have given us is we would, in doing this, they would come back to us the week of March 19th with the bank information, if that ends up being the best route, the cheapest route for us to go in terms of borrowing those funds, or the competitive sale of the bonds would be completed around April 6th, and that would then come to council on April 16th. So those are the two paths that we are going down, and this resolution authorizes them to go down both of those and provide us with a recommendation as to which is best at the end of the process.
Thank you, John. Council, any questions or comments?
If you wouldn't mind, I'm just gonna call roll real quick.
Okay?
Okay. Mr. Garris?
Here.
Ms. Guthrie? Here. Mr. Harris?
Here.
Dr. Dyken?
Here.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mayor Kraft?
Here.
Thank you.
Toby. Now, any questions on resolution 7086?
I'll just add a little more flavor as well. We historically have used bond funding for most of our capital projects in the history of City of Gulf Shores. Until probably about 15 years ago, we had the opportunity to go and shop for direct bank loans to provide our capital needs for a lot of the projects we had in the city, and we have done that very successfully. So engaging the Davenport Group adds kind of breadth to our opportunities to shop for the best priced capital in the marketplace, whether that be through a direct bank loan with a local bank, a regional bank, or a national bank, or whether that be offering bonds, municipal bonds to the nation of Gulf Shores to be able to lower our interest cost. There's been a very robust discussion about the pros and cons of both of those approaches with differing opinions. So having Davenport's expertise in this area will be a nice project for us to see and make sure that we're doing the best we can for paying interest and cost of capital to do projects. Previously, as I said, we've had great participation with our local banks to do this, but we're broadening that horizon to include regional and national banks as well. So it should be a good solution and provide really the best cost of capital for the City of Gulf Shores.
Thank you, Jason. Council, any other comments?
I have a question. So what we're looking at is the contract for them to make a recommendation.
Yes.
Not any actual.
Right. They will go down both paths of both the direct bank sale and the bond, and they'll be able to provide us with the option that council will choose for those new funds.
Okay.
When we started this program, we did not include the theater. We had a black box and a training area for students to be in the theater arts type program. And the more we looked at it after the bids had already completed, we were missing an opportunity at the time. There was construction going on to go ahead and build the audience seating area that we decided if we didn't do it, we may never do it, and it wouldn't be what we really needed from the school. Or for this also has the opportunity for the city use for public performances that we can have seating for us to all go to. There's 751 or 2 seats. Somewhere in there. So a certain number, we decided after the fact that if we were gonna do this, we need to do it right. And that's what this money's for, is to do that which we are doing. And just to fund it. So just a clarification of why we're adding more to the school. That's the reason why, to take advantage of the once opportunity we have to do it and get it done right. So with that, is there any questions or comments from the audience that you would like to ask for more information?
I just have one. What's the expected time frame for this process?
We will be complete by April 16th. So we should have the information back on the bank loans by March, March 19th and April 16th. We should be complete with the process.
And this is a company, John, you've worked with before?
I have worked with them before, yes. They're a public financing group, financial advisor, located, they've done work in a lot of southern states, and you have their information here in this packet in front of you.
Hold on.
That's resolution 7086.
I have one more question. Finance committee, y'all, I'm assuming y'all have gone through this.
Yes, it's been approved.
At length.
Awesome.
Move for the adoption of resolution 7086 and waive its reading.
Second.
Have a motion, a second, to adopt this resolution as presented. Any discussion or comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 7076 is approved and adopted. That ends the special or regular council meeting portion of tonight. If this is the point, if you've got anything on your mind you'd like to approach the council about, we'd like to hear from you, just come to the, oh, yeah, you've got something else, Teresa?
Just a reminder that the severe weather preparedness sales tax holiday begins this Friday, February 20th, and ends on Sunday, February 26th. It gives shoppers the opportunity to purchase certain severe weather preparedness items free of state and local sales tax in Gulf Shores. Some of these items include batteries, cellular phone batteries. We've got plastic drop cloths, duct tape, plywood. There's several other items on the list. You can go to the social media website or alabamaretail.org for more information.
Thank you, Teresa.
Chief Seeley's also available to update us on the fire that we experienced this morning.
Good afternoon. I was going to give you an update. You may know we had a fire at the landfill overnight. It started about midnight. Don't know what caused it. This is not uncommon to happen. Our crew went out, put water on it, got the employees from the landfill, came out and they put some dirt and spread it with the bulldozer in conjunction with us putting water on it. Got it out about 4 o'clock, got everything picked up, got back. It started back around 5. Pretty significant fire. And we've been out there since then. Doing the same thing. You can put all the water you want on it. It's not going to go out because they're working on putting dirt on it, spreading out the fuel load and putting dirt on it and layering it. So these things take some time. But I just want to let everybody know that it's 100% contained. It's not going anywhere. And there's some aggravating smoke. It's not toxic smoke. There's not household garbage out there. So everybody knows that there's construction debris. So it's just in the wind's direction. It's been out of the north this morning, out of the south this afternoon. So it'll drift in different directions. It'll be less and less. And it may be some cases where it's more, as they just brought an excavator out where they're going to start peeling it back to try to incorporate some more dirt in between the layers of burning debris. So we may have some periods where it flames back up, but it's not going to go anywhere. And we're there. We're going to be there the whole time. So be glad to answer any questions about it.
Thank you, Chief. Anybody else with anything?
One item, so the contractor working on Highway 59, they got the new poles for the traffic signals installed at the intersection of West 36th Cotton Creek Drive, and they're going to be hanging the mast arms overnight tonight. So that won't start until after 7 p.m., but there may be there's not going to be any lane closures, but there will be some delays depending on which one they're working on. If you come through there tonight, you may get stopped, but those generally don't take a whole lot of time, and should get all 4 of those hung tonight.
One more time. That convenes our meeting. Is there a motion we adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
We stand adjourned. Thank you for being here. Next Monday, we will be voting on these items. Please join us again.